Good evening. Crouching, because tonight we're following a gang of men who less than half an hour ago broke into that building over there. One of them's a recidivist. These men have been specially trained. Look at that training! Look at it! Which one is he? Where is he? Crime is confusing! Crime is confusing!
I've got him, he's over here!
Yeah, this is the man. His name is Richie Blawes. Look at the front of his head. You've probably seen it before, because less than 2 months ago he was on this programme saying, I'm giving up crime.
What's going on here?
Why have you gone back to crime?
What fucking camera?
He doesn't know. Tonight on Brass Eye. Why has he gone back to the crime that he turned his back on? UK used to mean United Kingdom, but ask anyone today and they'll tell you it stands for Unbelievable Crime Wave.
No one is safe. By the end of tomorrow, one or all of these people may have been set on fire, bum-raped or burgled senseless by Britain's marauding criminals. This month, police pictures showed another estate in Manchester turning itself into a gun. And it's not just the great unhosed. These raiders all earn over £200,000 a year in big banks. So much for recorded crimes, but crimes we know nothing about are going up as well. What hope do we have of battering these down? The Home Secretary scores repeated own goals. Over 1,200 convicts were released last month after lying to the Home Office about how long they'd been inside. And just 2 days ago, it was revealed that convicts in Dartmoor prison had been running an international airport for over 14 years.
I am not an expert on air traffic control. I thought they were landing nearby, but not in my prison.
So what causes crime? Social deprivation? This bleak report from Ted Moore.
From the moon, Kozik's a little dot. From the ground, it's a huge mess, like Dante meets Bosch in a crack lounge. I'm here to ask a question. Is alarm justified? Is time running out for Kozik? Or is this the start of a new day? The first day of spring.
Kozik. The stench of poverty hangs in the air like an old man's nappy. For the kids, it's a depravity supermarket, where bad is free and society foots the bill. Not many cars to nick here, so instead they hijack pedestrians and run them around at terrifying leg speeds. It's called git surfing. All too often, the git is one of their own mothers. The latest trick, catapult them into a shop and force them to steal booze, fags and mags.
Back Charlie, go back 5.
For the cops, it's a jungle where dangerous animals speak Swahili.
Sounds like we got a burst shop.
Kids burst shops by filling them with rice and pouring in water, then standing back and laughing while the bricks are ripped apart by the swelling food. They say a bored mind makes a great office for the devil. In Kerry Hufford's case, it's fully air-conditioned with free typing. He's been arrested for menacing a helpless codger. Jill and Sainsbury McManus are a rattly pair of old puffins who remember Kozik in the days when people could still be trusted.
Everybody had keys to everybody else's house, you know, and the locks were, well, they were sort of made of something like paper.
On September the 15th, the McManuses went to bed, unaware they were being watched by the Hufford gang. Moments later, 3 kids had broken in. Kerry was dressed as an angel. He woke the old man up and told him he was dead and must go outside and bury himself.
He ran out of the room. Kerry and me just were rolling about on the floor in hysterics, and he was pulling all the grass out with his hands and chucking it everywhere, and we were just behind the bush laughing at him.
Sainsbury would definitely be Costa del Blowfly if the cops hadn't seen his body by chance while they were tracking a man who'd buggered a heron. Maybe we can understand kids like Kerry by looking at his family. Dad unemployed, Mum depressed beyond tablets. You want to help these people, but the truth is they've got to help themselves.
Do you agree with this question? If you don't get a job, he gets stuffed.
But the point is I'm trying to get a job. It's not as though I'm not trying to get a job.
You must try harder.
I'm trying. I'm doing the...
Yeah, but really hard.
I am trying very hard.
Well, couldn't you just go around somebody's house and clean up?
Clean out? Clean up somebody's house?
Yeah, and then ask for money for it.
Yeah, I could do that.
Why not do that tomorrow?
All right, I mean, it's split to me.
Good. Thanks for talking to us.
Kosik's people are the smashed toes of a lame duck society. A lame duck that's attacking its own feet with a sledgehammer.
Will the nightmare ever end for Kosik? Perhaps with some help from outside. Oh, yeah?
In 1993, the council gave them a football.
Good, but not enough.
In 95, Paul McCartney donated 100 top hats. Fat use. And last year, the mayor gave them a gold mine.
It actually worked for a bit, this, until someone clogged it up with sick. Sick's a sort of metaphor for the way these people lead their lives. And it's going to stay that way till someone lets in the wind of change.
And as a result of that experience, Ted Moore has been absent for some time with nervous exhaust. Do you feel that vigilantism is actually going to help in the long run?
I think it will arise in an area where something has gone wrong.
I mean, in Gotham City, in the United States, they call up a specialist vigilante agent when they're in times of real trouble by projecting a huge luminous emergency bat sign into the sky. And he comes rushing in, and so far that has worked. Is that something that should be encouraged?
I'd have to see it.
Well, it looks good.
It would have to be a very individual with great magnetism.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think
it's his special sign.
They're one-offs of that sort of thing, and it's very nice in schoolmastering when you have people one-offs who can actually do it in a way that nobody else can do it. But don't try and get other people doing it.
But when Bruce Wayne goes, then it's all going to collapse.
Yeah. Well, it's happened throughout history.
Is crime going to get any worse? Yes, it is. Just look at America. Alabaster Codify reports on their latest mess.
Fatanoid with Chuck Fatanoid. Top talk topics stateside right now.
Priests with guns.
The priests who say they must pack a peace to keep the peace.
Last week I had, maybe 200, 300 in the congregation. I got up in front of them and I said, anybody here who's got a gun can leave now. 10 minutes later, 3 people are left, 2 kids and a deaf guy.
The Padre Noia really took off after Minister Volkus Wabe was shot at a baptism for forgetting the baby's name.
Fucking asshole!
More and more, the Holy Flock is becoming a gory gun-gregation. Practicing 4 times a week, Father Kupek's a fully fledged revolverand.
Tell us about the style you had there.
But I use the one-handed grip. It actually gives you a smaller profile if there's answering fire, like from the congregation or something.
And in Kupek's church, a would-be shootist doesn't have a prayer.
This is a defensive measure which is bulletproof, and the hole has been cut so I can return fire. That was the pimp that took the crucifix out of my church and put it on his car.
That's the holy gun spell, according to Saint Marksman.
Got him that time.
And there's even ad campaigns to recruit more pistol apostles.
No room at the inn? There is now.
Judas, you plan to betray me.
Despite the increasing violence against priests, many say they are simply too revved up to handle guns, as at this wedding where Minister Pat Rizzo shot a guest in the leg. The issue peaked on TV yesterday on a rat-a-tat-tat show, Showdown, featuring Kupek and the 2 protagonists.
You were shot by a minister with a gun.
That's right.
Okay, you were shot by this minister with a gun.
Oh.
This is Pat Rizzo, the man who shot at the wedding. Okay, now I know you haven't seen him for 6 weeks, not since he shot you. Just react.
What the hell were you doing?
Look, you moved funny, I had to shoot.
What do you mean I moved funny? I was standing in a church at a
like
wedding.
A criminal.
What do you mean I look like
those
a
hairy
criminal?
arms, you could be a man in a dress.
Right, you, I'm gonna get you.
Don't
Frenzy.
Put that gun down. Pouch the piece. Someone could get shot here. Someone could get shot. Pouch that piece, Padre.
Stay where you are. Two priests left the show in a tank, shooting as they went. So, as the AMU missionaries get trigger holy, Sunday turns to gun day, and America awaits the blast judgment.
This is Alabama Court of High for 10 and Brass Eye.
And sadly, crime experts predict that one day, even friendly conversation between mother and daughter will be conducted at gunpoint.
Up next, a new scheme for young offenders.
Take the cashback scheme that they're going to try in Toxteth, where young offenders are on a 14-week sentence. Costs about £2 a week to keep them in. So rather than spend 28 grand and keep them inside, they give them 25 grand and say, here you are, use that for a positive reason.
I think it's a smashing idea. Yeah, go. Yeah, I do, honestly.
If someone had done that to you, what would have happened?
I don't think you'd have ever heard of me again.
Do you think perhaps enlisting somebody like Richard Branson to sell the cashback scheme might just work, might just get through to people?
I wouldn't say no to that.
I suppose if there was an element of stick Richard Branson up in a balloon watching this situation and saying, there's your £26,000, but I'm watching you from a balloon, and I can see a very long way.
I go along with that.
Now chafing the transmission heads, what is the relationship between crime and race? Using makeup sticks, we transformed our white reporter Tras Dupre into a black man to see if the law would treat him any differently. Within 5 minutes, he'd committed a pocket theft, and by mid-afternoon, he was attacking passers-by with violent muggings and fleecing them viciously on the cobbles.
Well, there's the evidence. Mr. Coker, what do you make of that?
Now that I've seen the proof, I apologize to my fellow blacks. I'm sorry.
Mr. Coker, thank you very much. So what's the solution to rising crime, particularly younger and younger? For many, the answer to the crime problem can be summed up in just one word. Bring back Borstal. But did they work? Good question, because Borstals were phased out in 1982.
Get more reports.
Borstals like Falkhurst are to be axed because reports show they're full of men who should have been released years ago.
Jock Bosonnet was sent here as a juvenile offender in 1949. He never left because he kept failing release tests. Like hundreds of others, he remained in Chokey, even though the offences were small and twatty.
When I was 7, I got dressed up as a little city gent and walked into the Bank of England shouting, "Fuck the pound."
While the situation is clearly grave enough to merit a black and white freeze frame, the solution may already be at hand, with the opening of the new harsh pounds for young offenders. Libby Schuss reports.
Leopold Quay opened 6 months ago, right here, and already is being favoured by both main political parties.
And the third party, who are with Ashdown. I'm going inside now, like a bad boy.
The new inmates are welcomed on arrival.
You shakes up that hell!
And are sent straight to the shaving room. Here, their eyebrows are shaved off, which undermines their self-respect rather well.
If you think of a fly and you pull its wings off, it'll crawl. And if you push the back half of its body onto the surface it's squiggling on, then you've got its total, undivided attention.
In the Gulf War, Jackson was Allied advisor on psychobattery. At Leopold, his expertise is applied without mercy. The inmate's sleep is frequently interrupted.
Ah!
Room inspections are full of sneaky traps, like the brass moustache, hidden behind a notice board.
Why didn't you polish it?
Sir.
How funny is it?
Not, sir.
Bury the beds.
Match these pillow sheets outside, Bury, now!
The men will dig up their bedclothes again this evening and sleep in them, all earthy. If they'd done better, they might have won a privilege. Despite his criminal mind, this man is behaving well. His reward is the canoe. This time he can sit in the canoe for up to an hour. Meanwhile, the troublemaker is made to sprint blindfold to Jackson's office, where he receives a speaking down.
That is my big shiny shoe, and you are the biggest piece of shit on it. Lick yourself off my shoe. Lick yourself off my shoe. Shoe! Don't actually do it! Where's your self-recocking spect?
I don't know, sir.
Get out!
Sir.
Now!
Sir.
Look at me! Get out!
If you take a seal and hit it very hard in the face every day for 6 weeks, you may turn it into a rather fetching hat.
And the future for these little fuckers? Will they succeed in returning to society?
So you're nearing the end of your training, your regime, and looking forward to joining society again. Tell me, how do you feel about that?
I've got skills.
Skills for what?
Getting back into society.
Well, you could have a family, and...
I could have, I don't know.
I mean, if you made the effort, became a part of a family, then you could root yourself into the fabric of society more.
I'll root you in the fabric.
There is a serious question. I am from society.
Hello.
You're not from society. How do you get back into society?
Up your ass.
There are no simple answers to the problem of punishment, but there is a simple question. Would it really matter if one of these men died?
Perhaps the most positive step has come from the Home Office action group Key 2000, who produced a video to play to young offenders on their arrival in prison.
Well, they got you then. They gone and banged you up good and proper. So what now? What I'd like to do right now is to take your bad half outside and do it in extremely physical discourtesy, and then buy your good half a pint of foaming nut brown ale. Cheers. Meet Jeff Boycott and shake hands with a walking continent of common sense.
I didn't get runs by slacking. I worked hard, I grafted, I practiced, I did it as well as I could, properly. So when you get up in the morning, what do? You get out of bed properly, and that means all the way out of it. Get right out of the bed. No half measures. You must get your whole body out of the bed, right out from under the sheets, right off the mattress until you're standing up. You won't get anywhere slouching about half out of bed. Do you seriously think the people here wouldn't notice if you were only half out of the bed? Come on, wise up. Did I walk out to bat when I was half asleep or half out of bed? Of course not. I bloody well didn't. Remember, the best technique is to look at that bed and then try and get as far away from it as possible.
Gary Glitter said, good to be back, but in your case, that does not apply. I can't believe it, you little ponce. You gone done it again, ain't ya? Did you really like it so much last time? Did you? What? You didn't? Then why the hell did you come back? All right, easy now. No foaming nut brown ale for you this time, but here, for God's sake, listen to this and do us a favour, mate. Pay attention. This time.
I've been asked to read the words of a successful reformed criminal, someone who got a grip. And this is what he says: remember that your life in prison is like a dog in a box. What you've got to do is make the dog bigger than the box. Not in a bad way, like a mad wolf. in a matchbox, but more like a giant, a well-behaved Alsatian in a Kleenex box. Your aim is to place that dog in the lap of the governor, that's the evil part of you, with a smile as you leave.
You are a murderer, and I can only pray to God that you watch and you listen very carefully to this.
Hello, you think you don't know me, don't you? Yes, but you do, because I'm the shopkeeper you shot in a mindless hold-up. You blew out my guts, remember? I'm the old lady whose head you stove in with a loose wardrobe in the middle of the night, remember? I'm the little boy whose face you stabbed off in panic when I found you robbing my house, remember? I'm Marvin Gaye, shot by my own father. Oh yes, you know me all right. Look at my eyes, murderer. You killed me. What the hell did you do that for? Look at me. Feel proud, do you? Do you even know what a feeling is? I do, but I can't have any more now because of you. You get out after 25 years. But me, I'm here forever. I hate you.
Now, while you're inside here, you're going to have to learn a whole new language. It's not French, it's prison slang, and I've got some of it written here, so it might help you. Howard's arse means prison. 1-0 at half-time means food. Woggy coconuts means air bricks. Gaza is a gas coin used as currency for cigarettes. Plank sanction, a one-for-one fag exchange. Sue my chin, give us a fag, I'll give you 2 next week. Buff my pylon, give us a fag, you owe me 2, so I'm letting you off the other one. Don't buff my pylon, switch over the telly, and very, very important, this one, Portillo means look out behind you. Learn the language, better communication.
Well, that's one way of dealing with offenders in prison. But what about the bigger picture? Thanks to the News Dwarf.
Pleasure, Chris.
The hope is that we'll benefit from a number of European projects. Research shows that football riots can be halted instantly by showing pornography on the video displays. For street disturbances, the Metropolitan Police are now breeding elephants, following their successful deployment in Athens and Turin.
In Holland, they've halved the crime rate by legalising murder with the introduction of slaughter cafes.
We used to come here with knives and everything, slashing like that with the guts and all that blood all over. But we got bored after that, after about 2 weeks. And I just eat my cake now and wash it down with a nice cup of coffee.
This French system of victim support comes to Britain next year. Last month, that woman woke up to find a young offender defecating on her floor.
Under police supervision, she now meets the offender at his house and is given an hour to formalise a similar return on his floor.
Good night.
I'm sort of violently against hanging, for example. I believe no human's got the right to take another human's life.
Hang on, let me get this right. So you shouldn't be allowed to take away someone's life?
Now, what I'm saying is I personally...
The penalty for taking away somebody's life should be the death penalty?
No, I personally totally oppose the death penalty.
But it's all right to take away someone's life?
No, only in self-defence.
So if you murder somebody, you've taken away their life. And in that circumstance only, then that person should be killed?
No.
No.
I believe under no circumstances does one human being got the right to take another human being's life.
No way. Surely.
That's my opinion.
Oh, right, OK.
I'm not saying it's... I mean, everything's about opinions.
Is it? Yes, it is. What about capital punishment for murder only?
No, I personally believe on moral grounds that no human being can take another human being's life.
Well, if you didn't take their life, you just murdered them?
Say that again.
Well, if you didn't take somebody's life, but you just murdered them,